Rogue is defined in two separate ways. The first is a dishonest or unprincipled man. Sorry ladies. And the second is an elephant or other large wild animal driven away or living apart from the herd and having savage or destructive tendencies. Well, that's not how I see it at all. There's a much more modern term when I think of rogue, and it's somebody, an individual who goes left when everyone else goes right and just does it different. And that's where this comes in. This is the brand new 2020 Nissan Rogue, and in fact this is top of the line. This is the SL Platinum version, and today we're going to be going over the pros, cons, facts, features, a drive test, as well as sharing my thoughts and opinion on this gorgeous compact SUV. And in fact this sells very, very well, but we'll get more into that in a second. My name is Thomas and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, feel free to subscribe to join our small but growing family, because once we hit 100,000 subscribers, I'm going to be shaving my lid for a kid, and also once we hit 10,000, I have another secret surprise as well. And of course, a huge thank you to Fish Creek Nissan who lent me this gorgeous vehicle. Everything for them is linked down in the description below. But enough of that, let's get into the facts of the Rogue. I mentioned already that it's a very good seller for Nissan, and it is. It's their MVP, their favorite child. It sells more than any other vehicle that they produce, and on top of that, it was America's best-selling SUV of 2018. And all for good reason. It's comfy, full of features, efficient, reliable, spacious, and appeals to the largest market, being as versatile and as affordable as it is. Just $25,000 for the base S model in the States, and just $27,000 over here in Canada for the same base S model. But as I already mentioned, this is the top of the line SL Platinum Edition, and this one will run you $31,500 in the States and $38,000 here in Canada. The Rogue's main competitors are the Honda CR-V, the Toyota RAV4, the Chevrolet Equinox, the Ford Escape, as well as the Mazda CX-5, along with a number of others. So why choose the Rogue? Well, when Nissan was designing this, they wanted to take it in a different direction. So they said, sure, let's make it drive itself. They also made a Star Wars inspired edition when Rogue One came out in 2017, and made a limited edition of these called the Rogue One Edition. They even added a third row in the back to make this a 7-seater compact SUV, but discontinued that in 2018 for pretty obvious reasons. But in all seriousness, if you're looking to buy a 2020 Nissan Rogue and you're just looking for a reason to buy it over its competitors, here are a few. The Rogue has the best-in-class cargo volume and also has more headroom than all of its competitors. It comes standard with the tire pressure monitors, which is also a class exclusive, so none of its competitors have it. Another standard feature is Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. And last but not least, there's the intelligent around view monitor, which none of the others have, making it another class exclusive. And that also comes with the rear automatic braking, just in case a small child runs behind your car at the last second. But to be fair, the Toyota RAV4 as well as the Honda CR-V have overtaken the Nissan Rogue when it comes to the 2019 model year sales, and that's because the second generation here has been around since 2014 with only minor upgrades, but rumor has it that in 2021 we're going to see the third generation, so it'll be interesting to see what happens over the next couple of years. As for the powertrain on the 2020 Nissan Rogue, it is a 2.5 liter inline-4 engine that is putting 170 horsepower through the continuously variable transmission. Now on the base S model, that is going just to the front wheels as it is front wheel drive, but on all the other models it is going to all four wheels, as those have the intelligent all-wheel drive system. When it comes to fuel economy, it's getting 26 miles per gallon city and 33 miles per gallon on the highway, also known as 9 liters to the 100 kilometers city and 7.1 liters to the 100 kilometers highway. But now it's time to peel back the scarlet ember red paint here and talk about some of the features that I haven't already gone over on the 2020 Nissan Rogue, starting off with the standard features like the heated seats. There's also the blind spot warning system, LED lights all around, including fog lights, high beams, and regular daytime lights, along with many other features like the Eco mode, which all come standard on this vehicle. Some of the optional features that come along with the different packages are the Sport mode, automatic lights including high beam assist, a 9-speaker Bose premium audio system, a dual panel panoramic moonroof, a heated leather wrapped steering wheel, electronic parking brake, Nissan's intelligent key, which is responsible for your remote start, push button activation, as well as the keyless entry. There is even a motion activated liftgate. plus all of the other features you'd expect like power seats and tinted rear privacy glass. And one of my personal favorite features, which is Nissan's ProPilot Assist. Essentially, it's a semi-autonomous driving system, but a lot goes into it, so I'll link a video down below that I put together that goes over everything you need to know about Nissan's ProPilot Assist. And last but certainly not least, for $500 extra, you can get the tan leather appointed seats with quilted leather inserts. As for the drive test, the first thing I want to touch on is a thing that I need one finger to do and feels like I've known how to do it since birth because it's so easy. One finger on the steering wheel, all the way around, easiest thing in the world. And if that doesn't explain to you how light the steering is on the Rogue, then I don't know what will. The steering on this vehicle is so fluid and so easy, it feels like I'm driving a tiny go-kart with a massive power steering system. It just feels so easy to drive. But nonetheless, let's hit the road and talk a little bit more about the Rogue. First things first, I want to get this out of the way. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the Eco and the Sport mode actually do something, which is kind of a surprise because most of these vehicles say there's an Eco mode and a Sport mode, but because most of them have small engines, they don't really make a difference, especially on that Sport mode. But for the Eco and Sport mode, you can definitely feel lots of mechanical magic happening, making the ride a little bit different, as well as the acceleration. And paired with a good set of winter tires, the Rogue does fantastic in the winter. I've driven this on very snowy, icy roads at -40 with winter tires on the all-wheel drive model, and it performed very well. And one of the things you'll notice straight away about the Rogue is how much room and space there is on the inside here. It's very spacious, it's very comfy. I have loads of headroom, so someone like myself has a wonderful time driving a car like this. I'm not all cramped up, especially when compared to its competitors. Now, for an SUV, this is a very quiet, smooth ride, but if you do live somewhere like I do here in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, the roads can be very rough, and while the suspension does the best job it can, I do feel that it can get uncomfortable at times depending on where you're driving in the city or outside. On top of that, I do wish there was a little bit more power coming from this engine. Sitting at 170 horsepower, I feel like Nissan could have given us a little bit more. But on the other hand, everything is where you'd expect it to be, and I love ProPilot Assist. This thing puts a smile on my face every single time I use it, giving you that semi-autonomous feel. It's doing the braking, accelerating, matching the speed for you, as well as making minor steering adjustments. One of the things that's very familiar of compact SUVs is while you still feel high off the road and you're still in an SUV, you don't feel very obnoxious. So this will go for the Rogue or any of its competitors. I don't feel like I'm taking up 4 lanes like you would in a big truck or larger SUV. I feel like I have loads of room to move in between the yellow lines. And last but not least, while you can't escape wind noise, the Rogue does a fantastic job of giving you a nice quiet ride. But now let's talk about the pros and cons of the 2020 Nissan Rogue, starting off with the cons. There we go. That motion-activated liftgate is the bane of my existence. It is, in theory, such a good idea, and it just doesn't work the way you'd expect it to. You have to get it perfectly every single time, and don't worry, I'm here to save your day if you're getting one of these, and I'm gonna show you exactly how to do it. It's nice and simple. You swing your leg forwards and backwards. No stopping, no pausing, just one quick motion in the center right underneath the logo, and that is all you have to do. Or else you're gonna spend an hour holding your groceries, kicking the back underneath of your Rogue, trying to get the bloody thing to open. Oh no, it's closing. See what I mean? You just get lucky sometimes, and other times you'll be here trying to do it 20 times in a row and it just won't work for you. So this is one of those things that when you get a Rogue, you're gonna have to practice a couple times and then you should be able to do it in your sleep, but even I still have troubles with it every now and then. But enough of that, let's move on with more of the cons. As I've already mentioned, the 2021 is probably when we're seeing the 3rd generation Nissan Rogue. So by getting a 2020, if you could just wait a few extra months, you're gonna be getting a brand new generation with all the updated bells and whistles and features that we're gonna be expecting on the 3rd generation. And while it feels better than most SUVs in this price point, I do still feel like the interior of the Rogue is kind of plain bland and plasticky, but there's an easy fix to that. If you get the $500 upgrade to get that nice tan leather, that fixes everything. I think that that leather is gorgeous. And I also think the Rogue's a little bit underpowered with 170 horsepower, but there's an easy fix to that. Just go and get the Murano versus the Rogue. For a little bit more money, you get a bigger engine, a V6 versus an inline 4. And last but not least, I want to touch on the CVT or or continuously variable transmission. And while I don't think this is necessarily a con, the reason I'm putting it in this list is because the car world and car community has kind of given the CVT a bad name, and it's the transmission that Nissan uses in quite a lot of their cars. And while I personally have never had an issue with a CVT or know anybody who's had an issue with a CVT, I know that a lot of people have come forward saying CVTs have gone wrong. But if you look at what's happening, even Ford now is starting to use CVTs. So this is a transmission that is only going to get better as time goes on and will evolve as the years go by. So I think that getting a 2020 versus a 2014 Nissan Rogue will definitely be better because you're getting a more up-to-date, newer, upgraded CVT, and it is less likely to have something go wrong with it. But at the end of the day, things go wrong with all sorts of transmissions, no matter what sort of vehicle you're getting and no matter what sort of transmission it has. But now let's move on to the pros. The Rogue is the most average, normal car you can buy for the most average, normal person. This is the best car you can get to get you from A to B. It is safe, secure, and it is a really good buy with a 3-year, 60,000 kilometer warranty. And you know that this is backed up by years and years of people buying these vehicles and really, really loving them just for the fact that they're simple, have plenty of tech, are comfortable, and you don't run into many issues with these. It is very low risk to buy a Rogue. To wrap this all up, I want to share my thoughts and opinion on the 2020 Nissan Rogue, as well as a couple of experiences that I've had driving Nissan Rogues over the last year and a half. I've personally driven around a dozen of them, and each about a week at a time, and I've put them through a ton. Everything from snowy back trails to road trips all the way up to Banff and everything in between. And that includes the base S model and everything in between all the way up to this gorgeous SL all-wheel drive model. And my conclusion is that this vehicle is very, very well rounded. If I wasn't after something specific like speed or being as tall off the ground as possible like these big lifted trucks and Titans, then I would just go for something like this. It is simple. It is amazing on gas. It has all the technology that you'd ever need. So if you're just looking for a vehicle that's going to be a happy medium SUV that is going to be getting you from A to B in your day-to-day commute, then I see no reason why you shouldn't be getting a 2020 Nissan Rogue. But as I mentioned, if you do want to wait for the 2021, you will be getting the 3rd generation if the rumors are true. But that's it. That's everything I have to say on the 2020 Nissan Rogue. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you're new here, feel free to subscribe, ring that notification bell, and drop a like, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace. Trying to get the bloody thing to open. Oh no, it's closing.